Hello, everyone, and welcome into Pleasant Grove High School for our matchup between the 5-2 Pleasant Grove Vikings and the 5-2 American Fork Cavemen. JT Wisdersill and Nate Carter excited to be with you on the call for this one. And Nate, what's the biggest thing you're looking for in tonight's game?
Hey, we have a lot of talent out here. It's super exciting to be here with you, JT. Definitely looking forward to seeing this crosstown rivalry.
Yeah.
Big Utah County matchup. Should be fun.
Yeah, I mean, Region 4 matchups, always so much fun. One of the most daunting regions in the state. I mean, arguably the most daunting. You talk about all the teams and the talent in the state. Both these teams were doing great during their non-conference schedule and slowed a little bit because of some of those issues against region opponents. But in terms of Region 4, how do you feel like these teams stack up amongst the others?
Yeah, it's fun to see. Both teams sitting at 5-2 right now. Definitely a bit of difference in strength of schedule we've seen so far, but I think we should have a tough matchup coming for us.
It should be a fun one tonight. One interesting wrinkle to this game is because of concussion protocol, Nick Steffieri is not going to play in tonight's game, so we have backup quarterback for Pleasant Grove tonight. And how do you expect that to change in this offense? I mean, Steffieri, one of the premier quarterbacks in the state.
Yeah, obviously Coach Walkenhorst has said he's going to coach to the strengths of the junior, and should we be able to see him blossom, this is the future of the program, JT. Hopefully he'll be able to get the reps he needed to continue the growth for this Pleasant Grove program next year. Yeah,
Mason Jensen, who we're expecting to see out here, a 2025 guy. So a big opportunity here to come out, get a huge region win as well. And one of the things that's just so impressive has been the turnaround of this Pleasant Grove team. As you know, last year they only won one game, and it was a long season. But you know, this year we talked to the coaching staff before. They spent more time with the BYU coaching staff this offseason, so got more acquainted with them, got stronger, felt like as a staff as well. And then the players just getting in the weight room, really having time to input their vision, and it's led to some strong wins on the season as well. When you're talking about Pleasant Grove, it was a narrow loss versus Farmington, but I'm looking at a 47-0 game versus Orem. That is something that does not happen last year. Looking at a win as well against teams like Wasatch, and this is just a team that's been impressive all season long in terms of what they've put on the field, and excited what they can do tonight as they've gone for the blackouts for senior night.
Yeah, and that's right. You corrected me there. Mason Jensen is actually a sophomore tonight, and a baptism by fire with this American Fork team. This is it. This is where men are born.
Yeah, so Champion Edwards and the Cavemen's offense, the first group we're going to see. You know, it was kind of interesting to start the year. There were multiple quarterbacks in and out for AF, but this is Champion's team. Champion, former Corner Canyon quarterback as well. Didn't really get an opportunity to play there, but has shown off some of his talent this year, and we've seen this Caveman offense be highly productive, including a win versus a very good West team.
Yeah, big overtime victory right there for the Cavemen as they face off against the defending state champion in Lone Peak, and we are off.
Indeed we are, Nate. So with the touchback, that will bring out the Cavemen's offense. And, you know, one guy I'm looking forward to seeing tonight, at least, Nate, is Trey Roberts. When I last called an American Fork game when they took on Bingham, Trey was really held in check. But he is one of the premier receivers in the state. Do you expect them to go to him early here?
Yeah, definitely. No, American Fork loves to air out the ball. Obviously, they have a lot of targets out there, and they've been able to put up stats so far. Champion Edwards is obviously an athlete behind center, and he'll be loving to air it out tonight.
The 6'2" senior quarterback, Edwards, set for the shotgun snap. Edwards looks the way of Roberts, and Roberts nearly brought it down. Almost a positive broadcaster jinx there, but outstanding coverage on the outside.
Yeah, obviously Trey Roberts, one-on-one, he's getting his hands on the ball at least. He's so physical, goes up, gets after the ball, comes trying to come down with it every time.
Micaiah Peterson in coverage on the left at the bottom of your screen there, doing a great job disrupting that jump ball. You know, the Cavemen also have an imposing rushing attack as well with Dax Watts in the backfield. We'll see what they have to do on 2nd and 10 from the 20. Edwards will give it to Watts. Watts following his blockers, trying to get to the edge. Tackler met and dragged out of bounds, but a solid gain there.
Yeah, Sean Cottle out there able to hold the edge, the corner for the Vikings, and able to hold down with 2nd and 4. See what American Fork comes out with. Sorry, it's 3rd and 4.
No, yeah, the clock's a little out of sorts as well. It says 3rd and 6, so no, it is definitely much closer than 3rd and 6. Yeah, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, right on that edge. So we'll see what the Cavemen try to come out with. Once again, you see Roberts at the bottom of your screen. Also lined up in the slot, guy to keep an eye on is Josh Andrus, one of the best tight ends in the state. Edwards looks right, completes it. First down for the Cavemen. That time hauling in the reception was Peyton Reese.
Yeah, big haul in there by Caitlin Reese. Obviously a quick sticks route right there, able to pick up the first down, and we're moving down the field.
So nice long drive to start things out here. See, Cavemen going slow here early. Coach Bean's squad. Got some time to kill, obviously. They're in no rush to get it done. This is a team that, as I mentioned, they lost their first game of the season. I was on the call against Bingham. Another test here tonight for these 5-2 Cavemen. Hole up the middle is quickly closed by the Vikings as it's a gain of about 3.
Yeah, great move there by the Vikings, able to sniff out the run on early downs and be able to hold it to minimal gain. And yes, about 2nd and 7 left for the Cavemen on this set of downs.
And credit to Pleasant Grove's defensive line as well, because look, in terms of the weight advantage, it's obviously an American's Fork favor. You can see that, but right there, able to hold up strong, win those one-on-ones to hold them to 2nd and 7. Go back on the ground to Watts. Watts dragged down by a slew of Vikings for another minimal gain.
Yeah, obviously we can see it's more than just muscle and meat up front that's going to hold the line, JT. Obviously we see Pleasant Grove able to teach the right technique to be able to have players in the right position to slow down this American Fork.
Jacob Eardley was the back in on that one. Him and Watts, the primary 2 ball carriers in the ground game for the Cavemen. With 10:14 left on 3rd and 5, we'll see where they go here. This is exactly what it was. It was 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 last time. They were able to get it. We'll see if Edwards is able to get it done once again. Bring a blitz, it's picked up. He looks to the outside, it's hauled in. Fighting for the yardage, it's gonna be close, but looks to have it. Does Hunter Michaelis.
Yeah, obviously, Champ Edwards able to find the check down man, find the man that's open in these zones. Obviously, Pleasant Grove is scared of anything going deep on them. Great move there by Edwards to be able to check down and pick up that first down.
Edwards 2 for 2 on 3rd down so far in this one. Great job by the offensive line as well. How about that blitz pickup?
Yeah, not always easy to see a linebacker come flying through and be able to stop him at the line.
Give it to the outside. No one there except for Vikings as they swallow him up on the short game for Lucas Segura.
Yeah, it looks like linebacker 44 Trevon Gates able to pull him down for that only gain of 2. Nice work there.
If the Vikings as well, look, you obviously wanted to force a 3 and out, but it's not bad to bend a little bit as well. Give a couple of first downs. It's obviously still a long way to go to even field goal range, so another opportunity. Just going to have to make sure you get off the field on those 3rd down situations, and they have an opportunity at 2nd and 8 to force another 3rd and long if they can hold them to another short gain here. Edwards with Segura once again flanking him. Gives it to Segura, charges ahead, nowhere to go. The Vikings continue to control the line.
Yeah, no hole there for the Cavemen. Just a wash as he tries to get anywhere. Another 3rd and 8. It's only a matter of time before an offense stalls out. Let's see what Champ Edwards is able to do here.
One thing that's interesting, look, we are in basically the bleachers of PG Stadium, and look, this is 3rd and 8, and it's a very quiet stadium right now. There's no one really trying to make noise, trying to disrupt anything. We'll see if the student section decides to get going here in a moment, but right now it's just the cheerleaders putting in all the work to try to create that noise on 3rd and 8 with 8:09 to go. Edwards 2 for 2 on 3rd down. He's got time, waiting, pocket collapses, gonna try to escape to the left, and he will get the first down. Edwards with the legs.
That's devastating. Not only does he pick it up, he's able to get out of bounds. Nobody on the defense is able to touch him. This really takes the wind out of the sails for a defense. You at least want to be able to punish a quarterback in that situation.
You hold up on the back end, but then you can get pressure through, and that's the hard part is you just give it up on the ground. A quarterback's legs is one of the ultimate equalizers for everything you can pretty much do, and then it just, when a quarterback can scramble like that, breaks everything down. So with just under 8 minutes to go, ball at the 45 officially as Edwards crosses midfield. See a packed box by the Vikings. They'll pitch it to the outside to Segura. Segura following his blockers ahead for a nice gain.
Yeah, on that far hash, we see them try to just take up the short yardage and able to take out a chunk. American Fork just chipping away on this opening drive, just slowly moving the stick, slowly getting down towards the red zone.
Yeah, the very first play, they took a shot with Roberts. It didn't work. Since then, it's pretty much been the first 2 plays, we're going to run the ball, and then if we have to on 3rd and long, we're going to drop back. That seems to be the approach, and it's one the Vikings are aware of as well. We talked earlier, and this is a Pleasant Grove team that's confident in their front 7, and you got 4 guys pretty close to the, almost 8 guys close to the line. Edwards on the quarterback keeper, squeezes ahead. Another first down run for champion Edwards.
Yeah, obviously misdirection so devastating for a defense. You always have to stay home, do your job, keep your eyes out of the backfield, and stuff your holes.
Yeah, Coach Walking Horse team there doing such an effective job, right? Setting it up with the pitch, set it up with the pitch. They've run that 2 times now, fake it, worked to perfection. That was their 4th first down of this drive, and they didn't even need 3rd down to reach it on that one.
Yeah, obviously staying out of those 3rd down situations is the best place to be. Get it done on early down so you don't have to risk it.
7:20 to go, ball in the 31. Edwards empty backfield. Pressure's going to break in. There's no one on the right. Edwards going to use the legs once again and gain about 5 on the play. So another broken play, but Edwards makes something out of nothing.
Yeah, that's obviously why you love to see him behind center. Again, Pleasant Grove not even able to get to him. You're not going to slow him down. He's going to be able to keep that up all night.
How about the high step as well? That's how you know you're an athlete, when you're doing the high step to try to juke a guy on the outside. And Edwards was able to get a couple extra out of it as well, picking up 4 officially on the play, making it 2nd and 6. And, the Cavemen's offense have almost used up the entire first quarter, the first half of the first quarter, I should say, because we still have 7 to go. Edwards kept it, goes to the outside, and dragged out of bounds after the short catch is Wesley Buig.
Yeah, Hunter Clegg hauls that one in.
Oh, that is Clegg. Good eye.
No worries.
I thought that was Wesley. Yeah, look at Clegg getting in on the offensive action.
Yeah.
Good eye there, Nate.
No, this is one of Champ Edwards' favorite targets. He's massive. We spent some time on the field. Stanford's lucky to have him. It's dragging him out of state to go play for him next year.
That's a defensive end lined up in the slot. What a weapon for the Cavemen. 3rd and 2. They're 4 for 4 on 3rd downs. Can they keep it going? Edwards to the outside, sees his man all the way, and hauling it in is Jace Hull.
Yeah, 3rd and short there. Ball thrown a little bit low for the wide receiver, still able to haul it in, move the sticks, and we are officially in the red zone, JT.
And one thing that's interesting so far for Edwards is he just knows where to go with the ball pre-snap. He's not going through reads. He's eyeing his guy, and he's staying with him, trusting that he'll win and get open. And that's all they've done on the outside so far on those 3rd downs.
Yeah, they've done a really good job calling out this script in this first drive to be able to take pressure off of him so he's not having to scramble.
Looking for it deep. And hauled in. What an adjustment and a catch. Touchdown for Peyton Reese. Cavemen strike first at Pleasant Grove.
Yeah, you love that ability to be able to just throw that ball deep, one-on-one coverage, have your wide receivers come down with it. Big strength of American Fork this season is just having physical wide receivers come down with passes like that.
That's how the drive started. They tried to go to Roberts early on, and this time they go on pretty much another fade route basically, and it works to perfection as Reese hauls it in. Opportunity for Noah Anderson to stretch the lead to 7. He'll do it. Cavemen with a fantastic first drive, and they lead 7-0 here at Pleasant Grove on KSL Sports Rewind.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
What an opening drive for the American Fork Cavemen. They moved the chains, I believe, 6 times. Would have been 7 if it was, and basically when you consider them dropping it for the touchdown after, but so efficient on third down. Champion Edwards showing great control, as well as they got some tough yardage through the grounds as well.
Yeah, obviously it's going to be a tough night for Pleasant Grove's defense. They knew that going into it. See what adjustments they can make next time. And
kickoff was bobbled, but dragged out for a nice gain. Gets just past the 25 to the 26.
Yeah, your heart stops a little bit on special teams as you see a ball bobbled around with a herd of American Fork Cavemen coming after it, able to haul that one in. We'll see the Vikings take the field on offense.
We talked about Nick Steffieri as well, one of the best quarterbacks in the state so far on the season. He's been outstanding, and you lose him tonight. And when you don't have Steffieri out there, what do you not have, Nate?
You don't have a 6'2" quarterback. Obviously, that presence is going to be missed tonight. After what we've seen recently in football, it's safe to keep him out tonight. Make sure he's feeling better before you put him out there and getting hit.
So the Vikings start with it on the ground. Going to be a short gain. Hunter Clegg involved in that tackle. Nice to see Hunter Clegg on offense. He's done it a couple times this year, but still always catches you off guard when you see him out there.
Oh, yeah. No, he's definitely an athlete that this American Fork team's trying to ride both sides of the ball. Why wouldn't you?
And the Vikings decided to start in the Wildcat there. They had Tuala Wolfgrim on the carry, and now is our first look we're going to get at the sophomore Mason Jensen. Jensen getting his first varsity experience last week in the Westlake game. The Vikings were able to hold on and win that one, but an opportunity for Jensen to get a monumental first win. Never helps when you have a false start, though.
Yeah, a little theatrics there by the Cavemen. Looks like the Viking offensive line responded, and they might be going back 5 yards.
Yeah, one of those difficult things, right? You don't actually cross over in the neutral zone, but you see the movement, and that's where it ends up getting you. So we'll back it up a couple, make it 2nd and 14 with 5:14 to go in our first quarter from the 28.
Yeah, obviously this American Fork defensive line, you want to be flying out of your stance as quickly as possible for these Pleasant Grove.
Low snap was hauled in on the outside. Jensen aired it out, but unfortunately it falls. Actually, is a catch, so nice job holding on to that one by Cannon Hale. But it still only goes for, actually, at the moment, it looks like only a yard or two. Might have even only gotten back to the line of scrimmage. And you talked about, this is a loaded defensive line for the Cavemen, so you feel the pressure to get it out even faster as well because you don't want to give up a sack.
Yeah, you have to play quick, but you can't play rushed is the situation they're in right now, JT. Obviously, this D-line's going to be coming after the quarterback. You got to make great decisions.
Cavemen show blitz. It's picked up for a moment. Jensen rolling out to the right. Going to take a deep shot, but just overshoots his intended target. It was there, Nate.
Yeah, you love to see him be able to read the field, be able to see a guy running for his life from those Cavemen defenders, and just the accuracy will come with time. Obviously, he's super jazzed. This is his first varsity start. He's been thinking about it all week. Well, I'm sure he settles down and we'll see some plays from him.
Exactly, and that's a difficult throw to make on the move as well. You just highlighted it there. Now the Vikings forced to punt. Once again, a 7-0 game as we just officially updated our scoreboard. Cavemen, thanks to Champion Edwards, got after it early. See if they can do something with this one. It'll start with a punt return. Not a lot there. Actually breaks out of it, doing a fantastic job is Hunter Michaelis. Michaelis down the left sideline. Michaelis crossing the 40. Michaelis crossing the 30. We have a flag. He's dragged down at about the 25. I believe it's coming back, but it was a fantastic effort by Michaelis, who looked like he was just going to get brought down where the flag was in the first place.
Yeah, obviously an athlete we've seen a couple times this season able to scare special teams out there, but tough penalty to see as we see this pulled back, and another opportunity for the Cavemen to march down the field.
And that was something Coach Walkenhorst talked to us about, right? Was not giving up those big plays on special teams. They nearly did so there, but thanks to that early flag, return all for naught.
Yeah, it's always easier to get a big return when you have a defender draped over somebody else. Really opens up the lanes. Just not allowed anymore.
Another beautiful view out here at Pleasant Grove. It's one thing that's great about high school football across the state. As someone who's not from Utah, it's something I appreciate every single time. You probably do as well, Nate.
Yeah, no, that's Northwest. We just had trees not Skylines. So this is definitely a fun place to call a game.
So the Cavemen's offense coming back out. Champion Edwards couldn't have really been any better on that last drive. I believe he was 3 for 4 in terms of completions. The only incompletion, the first jump ball to Roberts. So after that, marching down the field. Then the beautiful 20-yard plus touchdown pass to Reese. Just over 4 minutes remaining here. Edwards going to keep it to the outside, makes a move back inside for a minimal gain. Well played by the Vikings.
Yeah, finally Vikings obviously making adjustments. They're going to see the running on the first couple plays each series, and they're responding accordingly.
And I mentioned earlier in the year the Cavemen used lots of different quarterbacks. Going to have to do so here, as on that tackle, Edwards' helmet ended up popping off. So coming in is going to be Lincoln Jackson. Jackson, the junior quarterback, someone who's seen a lot of action this year as well. So not someone who's going to be, let's say, nervous to get his first couple reps here.
Yeah, definitely excited to get that in there, show him what he's got. He practices just as hard all week.
Jackson got the low snap, gets it to Watts. Watts makes a move inside. Watts showing off the burst, breaking free across the 40, finally dragged down. That was a fantastic tackle there by Thatcher Kuhn, but man, what a run and cut by Watts.
Yeah, big cut there. That's dangerous. That's explosive power right there. Getting to the second level and not an easy one to take down, JT.
Coach Walkenhorst going to burn a timeout. Not happy with his defense as well. He's fired up. We're going to take a timeout and let the Vikings cool off on KSL Sports Rewind.
College wasn't built for me.
It didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Back here at Pleasant Grove High School, where it has been all Cavemen early, and we just saw the best run of the day by Dax Watts. Watts breaking free there. And just how about the ability to not only cut, but you're obviously stopping your momentum for the cut going forward, and then there's still the acceleration to get that run for over 20 yards.
Oh yeah, you definitely tell an athlete when you see one. Being able to bust out a big play like that is devastating for a defense.
Champion Edwards, who's been getting it done with his legs today, back on the field. Going to go to Roberts on the quick slant, who hauls it in for a gain of about 4.
Yeah, great job there by the Vikings, able to rally up and make the play. Obviously, yards after the catch can be devastating. Nice stop there by him.
So far, it really feels like this Cavemen offense is, let's try to run it or on the first 2 downs, or maybe we'll give Roberts a shot, and then if we need to on third, we'll look to get it just beyond the sticks, and they've been able to do it so far effectively. Edwards with 2:35 left in this first quarter, a 7-0 lead for the Cavemen, currently at the 49-yard line. So they've just crossed midfield. Edwards on the quarterback keeper, rolls out to the left, trying to get to the sideline, stumbles, and crosses for a first down. The speed of Champion Edwards.
Yeah, what's crazy about this, he could be playing in a mud field, not the turf. His jersey would still be bright white.
Yeah.
He has not gone to the ground once. Obviously, he's in shape. He's going to keep this up all night.
So just short there as he went slightly out of bounds before he got the first. This team 5 for 5 on third downs already. This is the shortest one they faced on the day at the moment. We'll see if they can pick it up with Segura in the backfield next to Edwards. Be a blitz, they give it to Segura, who charges ahead and gets enough for the first.
Yeah, great move there. Able to run inside the tackles, be able to move the sticks. Obviously, this is a well-rounded K-man team, able to keep an efficient drive alive.
We have an injury on the Vikings, so we will step away while he is tended to on KSL Sports Rewind. Dawson Gillian able to get up with a little bit of help, now walking off to the sideline. Appears to be at least okay. We'll see if the training staff can tend to him or if he's able to return to the game, but Gillian able to get up and walk off. Always a great thing to see. Edwards in this offense set to resume their Reign of power in this first quarter, 2:15 remaining. It's been all Cavemen early. They're close, approaching over 100 yards of offense. Edwards wants it all deep, looking for it, airing it out, and nearly hauled in. It was misplayed by Jet Nelson.
Yeah, Mekhi Peterson for the Vikings obviously cutting his teeth tonight. He is, I don't think he's the weak link out here, but he's definitely going to come, he's going to be a deal maker for the Vikings tonight.
Been tested a couple times, as you mentioned, and held up pretty well overall. Going to draw Trey Roberts once again. This is a Cavemen team. Look, Roberts the clear number one. After that, ton of guys capable of making plays and catches, as it's been all season. Two backs in the backfield. Both will be used to block. Pressure still breaks through on Edwards, who just kind of has to flick it to the sideline.
Yeah, obviously you don't want to take a 10-yard loss on second down. Smart move there by getting it away.
But I think they're talking about intentional grounding right now, but there was someone in the area as well. So I think that's the biggest thing, is you can still see someone over there. Was he going to catch it? No, the ball wasn't even close. But still someone at least on that side, which I think is the reasoning. But it makes sense the Vikings would be frustrated by it. Do you agree with the call, Nate?
Yeah, obviously it's a tough call there. Intentional grounding is one of the funny ones that seems to change every year. So
Good point. Champion on third and 10. Looks to the right all the way. Going to try to escape ahead. Was dragged down. Somehow broke out of it. Trying to get to the sideline. Edwards ahead. Diving. Did he get it? No. Going to be about 3 yards short. This is a Cavemen team we saw practicing some deep field goals earlier, but I expect the offense to stay on the field, Nate.
Yeah, obviously in this situation, we do have the Utah rule. If you do kick it out the back of the end zone, the other team takes out at 20, so it's kind of a wash there. You would never punt in this yardage, but offense has been pretty efficient so far. I'm okay with the risk taking there early on.
4th and 4, so 4th down. We'll see if the Vikings can get what would be a monumental stop as the stadium starts to come to life a little bit. 1:15 remaining. Champion Edwards fakes the pitch, gonna charge ahead. Edwards has the first. He wants more. Going to the end zone. Tries to break a tackle, dragged down at the 5. What a run by Edwards.
Yeah, Sean Cottle, last man between him and the end zone, able to drag him down, keep 6 points off the board, but we have a new set of downs from the second yard line. It's going to be a tough situation here for the Vikings defense.
So it was 3rd and 10, then 4th and 4 because of the gain by Edwards. And once again, we see the fake pitch. Edwards charging ahead. Great job by the Cavemen, paving a lane for him to get through. And another monumental play made by Edwards in this game, who has just been outstanding here as we see him go under center for the first time tonight. Give it to the outside, and a fantastic tackle made by the Vikings.
Yeah, Vikings flying through in the backfield, able to pull him down. No gain on the play.
Yeah, Trevin Gates, what a job. Came out of nowhere on that. Looked like it was going to be a walk-in touchdown for Jacob Eaterly at the moment, but instead a great job by Gates to erase it.
Good news, we just saw Dawson Gillen just run back on the field, number 45, so he must be feeling better.
The play clock is like a split-second difference. They'll have to run one more play before it expires in the quarter. So the play clock dips under 8. Edwards watching it, snaps it, rolls out to the right, has his man open, went to Clegg, and it was broken up at the bottom. Clegg tried to haul it in, but a good job in the secondary for the Vikings. They're able to break it up with Riker Mickelson.
A 6'4" target has a tough time reaching for his ankles there, JT. It's a ball you want to see a little bit higher, and you probably have 6 on the board.
Got to imagine Champion trying to avoid an interception there, but at the same time as well, got to give your guy a chance being a little bit higher on it. But Champion been lights out today. 0.8 seconds remain in our first quarter. Cavemen looking to take a 14-0 lead after 1. We'll see if they can do it here. Edwards once again goes back under center. Trey Roberts at the bottom of your screen. They're going to give it to Watts. Watts forward and tackled. Great job by the Vikings DBs to bring him down. In on the stop was Gabe McCoy.
Yeah. Interesting situation here as we end this first half. 4th and goal. I don't know what you do here, JT.
End of the first quarter. Cavemen in front 7-0, but on the goal line. We'll see what the 4th down decision yields when we return on KSL Sports Rewind. Second quarter action set to get underway here at Pleasant Grove High School. It's been all Cavemen early. The first drive, 80 yards into the end zone. Champion Edwards was lights out. Vikings failed to get a first down, had to punt it back, and now, thanks to some great running once again by Champion Edwards, they're in another position to score, but a huge third down stop by Pleasant Grove makes it 4th and 2. Interesting situation for the Cavemen, and the offense coming back on the field, Nate.
4th down and goal, obviously you have a lot of confidence in your defense tonight, JT. Been able to force the Vikings to punt. This would be a tough spot to bail themselves out of. I say go for it.
Champion with Segura in the backfield. Champion keeps it, rolling out. Man wide open. It's Clegg with the touchdown. Cavemen 14-0.
Yeah, tough to miss a big guy like that in the end zone. Obviously, a lot of Vikings bit there on the run, trying to 4th and goal. That's what you expect, just to die for the yardage. Been able to see a little boot there by Champ Edwards and find one of his favorite targets this season.
And that's the advantage of starting under center, right? You're selling out, making it look like it's going to be a run, and then you roll out, as you mentioned. Such a difficult play to defend. And Clegg, who he missed on the second to last play of that first half of the first quarter there.
Yeah, it's easier to catch it without a defender on you. So
yes.
Credit there, able to haul it in.
14-0. Cavemen in front at Pleasant Grove on KSL Sports Rewind.
With no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone.
Back inside Pleasant Grove High School. Cavemen lead early as they're set to kick it away. This one sails high, hauled in the back.
Franken.
Frankum. And what a hit. He's absolutely dropped. Great job by the Cavemen laying the wood.
Yeah. Oh.
Good job by number 23, Tyson Egert on that one.
Yeah. Obviously great coverage there. Right there at the 20-yard line. Leaves a lot of field for the Vikings tonight and the sophomore quarterback.
As mentioned, the sophomore quarterback, Mason Jensen. It was 3 and out on the previous drive. 0 for 1 today on attempted passes. We'll see what the Vikings try to roll with here. If you're just joining us, Nick Stefari, unfortunately, out of this game. Go with the wide receiver screen and just overshoots his intended target on the outside. That time, it was Wade Christensen.
Yeah, obviously, first game jitters. We've talked about JT. Hopefully we see him start settling down, able to make the right reads and be able to get the ball to the wide receiver.
Yeah, the first throw, he really had that one rolling to the right, a very difficult one to make. But then if you talk about the second one there, your feet are set. It's served up for you there. Just one you got to have, and we'll see if Jensen can settle in here against a strong and stout Caveman front that's rolling with the bear front here early.
Ooh.
Jensen drops back, looks one way, just a miscommunication on the outside as wanted to go to Cale McCoy, and you can see Coach Walkenhorst is just frustrated.
Yeah, obviously we see these have all been overthrown tonight. That's just game jitters. He is pumped up to be out here to play, get an opportunity to learn live reps against one of the toughest matchups.
Looked like a miscommunication as well. I mean, you're talking about McCoy. I mean, he didn't even run that. I mean, he literally came back inside. He wasn't even 10 yards within the ball.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure everything he's been learning all week goes out the window quickly once you're right there behind center.
Once the pads start hitting, Cavemen not making it easier on him. They're going to bring 6 on this one. Pressure breaks through Jensen, trying to get to the outside, tried to squeeze it down the sideline. Broken up. Outstanding coverage in the secondary by American Fork.
Yeah, tough there. He actually makes contact with the wide receiver. Big defense there. We see the Vikings punt team come out here, still sorting out the woes. I think there's still opportunity for him to get on the board tonight, JT.
Yeah, a lot of time left in this game, and all it takes is one turnover as well to completely change things. And look, for American Fork, it's outstanding job by the defense, but that was the best throw we've seen Jensen make today so far, just better coverage by the Cavemen. Punt is straight up. This one not going to go very far. Fair called for on the catch. It's bobbled. A scrum for the ball. Who's going to come out for it? Looks like the Cavemen were able to get on it. That was a quick call by the official as well. That was the exact turnover that the Vikings needed, just not able to come up with it.
Yeah, obviously a situation there. That's one way to get a first down is have the return man bobble it and be able to scoop it up there.
I mean, if they would have gotten the ball back, would have been their largest gain of the day, to your point.
Hey, anything to move the chains.
11:27 remaining here in our first half. 14-0 Vikings lead. Champion Edwards has been absolutely electric at the field today as he gets settled in right on the Vikings logo for another drive. This one going to start from the 44. One interesting thing, we did see Watts go down on that final play of that first quarter. This time they'll go to England, charging ahead. Some tough running as he gets about 6.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of runs to the outside here for the Cavemen. Looks like a little bit of change up in personnel as we haven't seen 4 defensive linemen putting their hands on the ground, keeping one up, trying to keep that edge sealed so that no plays are breaking out from the outside.
Also misspoke, that was Ederle on the carry there. Looked like he got 5 on it.
Yeah, Dax Watts, right at the end of the first quarter, we saw him on the sideline for a
great tackle by
second.
the Vikings on that one.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for him back in the game.
Edwards gives it. Another tough run by Ederle. This one, not as many yards yielded. Gain of about 2. Good job by the Vikings defensive line, able to close on it.
Yeah, obviously, 3rd and short. been great opportunities for the Vikings, but have not been able to stop them in this situation.
3rd down, 4th down, been no problem for Champion Edwards in this offense. Gotten a ton of guys involved. They bring Segura, kind of their back. They bring in these short yardage situations. We'll see if they decide to pound it. Also see Edwards in the gun.
Yeah, empty backfield.
Edwards waits, going to charge ahead. The speed of Edwards, spinning for the extra yardage. Another first down on the quarterback draw for Champion Edwards.
Yeah, had that wingback able to follow right up the hole as he's able to move those chains for another first down.
Good job by the Cavemen charging ahead. And the entire Cavemen offensive line has been outstanding here early. Every time they've needed tough yardage or Edwards has needed protection, pretty much only one time I can recall earlier when it broke down, they have been lights out.
Yeah, definitely a lot of positive yardage plays for these Caveman offense.
Edwards looks all the way for Roberts, and you're going to see all of the flags coming onto the field as he was absolutely held on the outside.
Yeah, tough situation there. Cornerback obviously not trying to get beat, getting his jam in, but when the wide receiver breaks, you have to let him go.
Yeah, Roberts, such an electric guy off the release, able to create the separation. Nothing you can do there but grab a hold. And at the end of the day, a flag's better than a touchdown.
Yeah, when you're beat, definitely moving the sticks is better than giving up 6.
So 9:35 remaining in this one. He's going to call defensive holding, officially the call. He was held. You know, Roberts was held before the ball was really thrown, so holding the right call there for me.
Yeah, obviously a great call there by the officials tonight.
Edwards, fake the pitch once again, going up the gut, goes airborne as he gets basically flipped, does a tumble in the air and lands on his back. Looks to be okay. Thankfully landed safely, but what a hit in the hole by the Vikings.
Yeah, it looks like we had number 44 Trayvon Gates and number 41 Jake Payne just lowering the shoulders in there, finally making Champ Edwards pay for keeping the ball.
Good vision by you as well, Nate, to be able to see through all that. I can tell you used to play linebacker, able to make out who made that tackle, giving some credit.
Yeah, luckily we have some bright white jerseys, white on black on for the Vikings. Easy to pick them up, rolling off out of the pile.
Edwards faked it, pulling back on play action all day. The play finally breaks down. Edwards going to air it out into the end zone, but just decides to throw it away. Smart decision.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, just throwing the ball out of bounds there is a great play. No risk in throwing a bad ball and giving the Vikings a chance to get an interception on you.
Yeah, I mean, a great job by the Vikings secondary. They were able to hold up, and the Cavemen's offensive line did their part. It took a while for that pressure to break in until Edwards was finally forced out of that pocket to the right, and there's a lot of quarterbacks in the state. That's a sack as well. Edwards just able to get out of it.
Yeah, obviously coverage situation there. Good job of Vikings secondary, able to make Champ Edwards have to scramble out and throw it away.
So 8:48 remaining, 3rd and 6, but as we mentioned, it's been all easy on 3rd down today. Pressure breaks through. Miscommunication on the outside. Yeah. Edwards just ailmails it.
Another low snap there. Edwards panics, wings it out to the outside, gets it out of bounds again. We are another 4th and 8 situation.
It's going to be and we're going to see a field goal. This is a Caveman offense we saw practicing for these long field goal situations. We'll see, and this one obviously not super long, but still a decent range for high school.
Yeah, definitely. No wind out tonight, so hopefully he'll be able to punt this one through.
Anderson. He's got it. Oh, incomplete. I thought Noah Anderson had it. That's why you watch the refs, right?
Yeah. Controversial play last week with the American Fork versus Lone Peak, as they all believed they kicked the end of regulation field goal, and the referee called it no good again. Tough angles out there. Trust the referees on that one tonight.
Yeah, so that one does not yield the Cavemen's way. First thing that really hasn't tonight, if we're being honest. Vikings finally with a chance to capitalize on a little bit of momentum here. A missed field goal as they're going to start it on, looks to be exactly the 20.
Yeah, three wide receivers out wide against the cover 2 shell from the Cavemen. Should be able to find somebody open here.
See 4 down linemen. Jensen gives it. Short gain there on the tough running. Doing a good job that time was Clark. Or excuse me, actually Jansen.
Yeah, we see Mason Jensen working his way to the sideline a lot, checking in with Coach Walkenhorst, making sure that they're on the same page out there, making sure that they're seeing the same thing. Hopefully you start seeing some more positive yardage plays.
So that one went for 3, 2nd and 7 for the Vikings. Jensen going to drop back, looks one way, decides to step in the pocket, and he is engulfed. The Cavemen get home.
Yeah, obviously the play breaks down quickly for him, sees a glimpse of daylight, tries to get it by the legs, and this Caveman defensive line is having none of that, JT.
Yeah, Drew Dickey in on the tackle, as well as Siosifa Lavu. So once again, you get a little bit of positive yards there on those 3 yards, but you give it back with the 4-yard loss on the sack. 3rd and 11 with 7:30 remaining in our first half. Jensen in this offense behind the chains once again. Pressure breaks through, try to set up the screen. Green grass in front, charging ahead and getting the first down. What a fantastic effort on the run as the Vikings get their first down of the game.
That's an amazing call right there. I love the call there by Coach Walkenhorst as we see this Caveman defense ready to pin their ears back and get after the quarterback, get up too far upfield, vulnerable for that screen. And we have a Viking first down.
Great job by Wade Christensen. And you're right, this is such a perfect play call, right? Like you just give up a sack, so the defense is already ready to tee off on 3rd and long, and then you pull them in. Fantastic job. 6:50 remaining in this one. Caveman going to bring pressure once again. Jensen gets it to the outside and dragged down as the Cavemen play it well. Flying in to make the tackle on that one was Evan Agor.
Yeah, it looks like they're giving a gain of 1 yard on the play there. Obviously, love to see the sophomore quarterback starting to connect with wide receivers, hauling it in. Obviously growing that repetition that you need to start putting points on the board.
Shout out to the American Fork Cavemen student section as well. They've come out here in good support. We mentioned region rivalry. Not too bad of a drive for them, so good to see the Cavemen coming out to support. 2nd and 10 for this one. Go back to Wade on the carry, and another strong run for Pleasant Grove, their biggest of the game. What a job charging ahead on that one by Jaden Wright.
Yeah, run right up the middle on this Caveman defensive front. Great job with the linemen getting to the next level, making the blocks that make it possible to move the sticks on another Viking first down.
Jaden Wright, Wade Christensen, the two-headed monster in the backfield for the Vikings. Finally moving the chains a little bit here. Their second first down of the game. Jensen gonna keep it. Jensen swallowed up. It's a great tackle by American Fork.
Yeah, nowhere to go. Obviously, a lot of cavemen coming off the edge, making it tough.
Drew Dickey in on the stop. 2nd and 9, gain of 1 on the play with 5:20 to go. This first half is flying by, Nate.
Yeah, obviously, we've just seen a lot of ball's been staying on the ground a lot tonight, JT, and clock continues to run.
Lots of yards on the grounds for both sides. See the Vikings set up in the heavy look. See if they can get it done on the ground here. Give it to Wright. Blockers in front of him. Wright pushing ahead, nearly broke it free. Gain of about 5.
Yeah, almost a wishbone look there
Yes.
by the Vikings. Obviously a run formation and biggest drive they've had so far tonight. Something sparking on this offense. Great to see it.
4:40, that clock continues to tick. You know, this is a team, look, they're gaining yards on the ground, but if they do want to continue to run it, that clock's going to run down really quickly. See them get back into it. Give it to Wright once again. Wright charging ahead. This time the Cavemen ready for it. They drop him for a gain of 1.
Yeah, obviously clock might be the Vikings' friend tonight. Obviously, keep the ball out of the Caveman offense. Maybe muck it up a little bit. Keep the scores low. Hope for a miracle, and you can pull this one out.
Do you think they can run it, though, every play from now and still reach the end zone, Nate?
We're looking at 4th and 4. This obviously we'll see a Caveman adjustment sooner or later with a strong box there. Bring a safety into the box. There's a way to stop the run.
My biggest fear is just the timing. We're at 3:40 now, so let's say they get this timeout here, and they're going to take a timeout. Coach Walkenhorst doesn't like what he sees in general, and we'll see. He's already telling them we could speed up and get after it in a second. So with 3:43 to go, we'll step away when we come back. 4th and 4 at Pleasant Grove.
College wasn't built for me.
It didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
4th and 4, Nate. What do you think we're going to see here?
Yeah, obviously we've seen a lot of power run situations here. They're lined up, ready to go for it.
See 3 backs in the backfield once again. That's a crowded box for the Cavemen, and they get him to jump off sides. What a job by Jensen on the hard count. The Cavemen with the first.
Yeah, I guess I didn't see the freeze play coming there. Great work there by the sophomore. Getting his first offsides there at the line. You just hear a quarterback yelling anything he can to get the defensive lineman to jump.
So another first down for the Vikings. Their 3rd of the drive. They've continued to work it, doing a great job. 3:43 remaining, so you got some time. Got 1 timeout remaining in this one. We'll see him bring all the receivers back in. Jensen going to drop back, trying to get it outside quick. That one deflected at the line.
Yeah, a tough situation there. We see Jensen not as tall as his the other quarterback, Nick Stafari. Tough to get it over the line.
And that's a big Caveman front 4 as well. Like, that is not a small group. When you get the hands up like that, that's a lot you got to throw over.
No, that's a 6-foot-plus wall
Yeah.
right in front of you. Jensen, not that tall. Definitely going to have a tough time trying to throw outside and over the middle.
They look to right first. Instead, they check it to the outside. But another short gain. But then we see a flag come in late. And also a fantastic throw by our official, I might add as well. That one sailed about 20 yards on that flag throw.
Oh, yeah. Right there in the glory days. See what he saw out there.
Late call as well. Catch hauled in by Cale McCoy. And the Vikings have started to back up. Tough one for them. Looks like an illegal block in the back, I believe,
block in
Nate.
the back by the defense. Obviously, it definitely happens with everybody swarming out that way. Sometimes it's just a person stepping in front of you at the wrong time, trying to hit somebody.
You know, one thing about this first half is we've only seen each offense 3 times so far.
Yeah, time of possession has been a little lopsided, JT, but yeah, we've definitely been seeing.
You're right, the quick 3 and outs, but then for the Cavemen as well, just not able to capitalize on that late opportunity. And we'll see if the Vikings now, it's 2nd and 18. Jensen going to try to escape the pocket, running ahead. He's got some grass in front of him. Jensen makes a cut, makes another one, gets it back, gets nearly all the yardage back as he's dropped, but did that ball come out at the end?
Yeah,
Cavemen with the punch. We're waiting for the signal, and they got it. American Fork recovers the fumble.
Tough to see. Jensen finally finds daylight, is able to make it up the field. Ball security has to be number one priority in that situation. Big learning opportunity there for the sophomore.
It was a 17-yard scramble and run by Jensen just to give it away. A fantastic job by American Fork staying with the play, getting that ball out, and with 3 minutes remaining, it's a lot of time for Champion Edwards in this offense to stretch this lead to over 20.
Yeah, it's a bit more of a dink and dunk, kind of chipping their yardage down the field. We'll see in a 3-minute drill situation what the Cavemen have cooked up for us.
We know this is an offense that likes to take a shot to Trey Roberts. He's at the bottom of your screen. Instead, they'll go to the ground first. Good job by the Vikings. They're all over Egert.
Yeah, we see another beginning of down short run play here from the Cavemen. Enough as they keep chipping it down and then airing it out on 3rd down.
So Eardley with the short run. And, you know, this looks like at the moment at least an American Fork team that is very content just running the ball 3 times and letting this clock expire as they are taking all the time in the world.
Yeah, obviously Cavemen's looking to make a deep run in the playoffs. Not trying to tip their hand tonight.
Edwards with the empty backfield, sets up the wide receiver screen to the outside, hauled in by the lone touchdown man of the day in Reese, and he's brought down for a gain of maybe a yard.
Yeah, another short yardage here as we're rounding out 2 minutes and a half. 3rd and 8.
Fantastic tackle by one of the best names in the state of Utah, Bronco Winterton for Pleasant Grove.
Yeah, definitely a fun one.
So 1:53 remaining. This is a Vikings team as well that, I mean, if they get the ball back here, do you expect them to be aggressive? I mean, they're already trailing 14-0. You know, you're going to get the ball to start the second half, but still trailing by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, air it out for sure. Probably not dip too far into the bag.
Speaking of airing it out, that's going to be another flag. This gets a little grabby in the secondary. Edwards tried to end up going with it deep, but ended up not having it.
Yeah, obviously, Micah Peterson, obviously not trying to get beat there.
And grabs on.
It looked like he was just in the right position. The wide receiver tried to run over him.
That's what you saw, run over? Yeah. I can understand the defensive side of it as well. And that's what they're talking about right now. They're going to say, did he initiate the contact first? From what I saw, I did see a hand in there. And that's where I'm interested to see what these officials are going to come to terms with here. They're talking things over. Vikings outside of a missed field goal. Haven't really caught a break today. We'll see if they can catch one here on the flag. And I don't see a flag being waved at the moment. So at the moment, it looks like the call is going to stand.
And obviously being on the sideline, you're able to see that hand play go. Something from this far out.
Oh, it's going to be offsetting. So offsetting penalties. So the Cavemen getting a little, and maybe what you saw as well is maybe it was both ways where we saw the hand, grit and grabby, and then you see for the Cavemen, it's like tried to run them over basically. I think that's what it might have been what happened.
Obviously, as a cornerback, not your ideal situation to get ran over and to get called for some hand play, but we repeat downs. Another opportunity for Champ Edwards to pick up this 3rd down.
Look, obviously you wanted that to be the incompletion, but if you're the Vikings still, like I said, 1:31, 3 timeouts left. All that matters, you got the incompletion. We see the empty backfield once again. And that snap on the ground has to be scooped up by Edwards. Edwards trying to buy time for his guys. Just going to air it out across his body. There's absolutely no one home as Edwards just decides to chuck it across the field.
Yeah, picks the wide side of the field. Interesting call there. But,
so Cale McCoy is back on the return for the Vikings, and I think how his return could, the way he returns this, could be interesting to see how the Vikings then want to play this the rest of the half with 1:22 left and 3 timeouts.
Yeah, obviously either way, I feel like you have house money here to play with, JT. try to air it out a couple times and see what connection you can have with your receivers.
Fantastic punt on the back end. Doing a good job airing it out for American Fork on that one is Trey Roberts. So Roberts, you know, hey, when you're a good athlete, you can do it all, right? Punt, kick, and pass.
Yeah, always opens up opportunities further in your football career if you can, if you're multi-dimensional.
Absolutely. So it's going to start on the 31. So 69 yards remaining if you want to get into the end zone, basically. And do you expect the Vikings to try to be aggressive here?
Yeah, it's interesting to line it up with a tight end, not necessarily two tight ends.
Looks like they'll start on the ground. American Fork thought they were ready for it, but a fantastic cutback. What an effort by Wade Christensen. That run was going nowhere, Nate, and he cuts it back and gets over 10.
Yeah, play to the whistle. Obviously, Caveman saw that happen, not able to make it work out.
You know, you get the first down, but you decide to huddle up again, kind of take a little bit of time. What do you think about it, Nate? Do you want to just continue to run this, or are you okay just kind of letting the clock expire?
Yeah, you haven't really had the firepower to gain 55 yards in a minute either way.
Go back to Christiansen on the ground. That time the Cavemen are on it. And if the Vikings want to, they're going to have to run one more play, but now they take the timeout. And that's an interesting one, Nate, because you look at it, between the huddle and everything, you know, this is an offense that, look, they knew all week that they were going to be on to their backup quarterback, obviously. And you let about 30 seconds go there by not rushing to the line a little bit, trying to attack with the tempo. What do you think the decision is there? And then why use a timeout now?
Tough call there. Obviously, probably not the ideal situation. Something that the coaching staff can still learn from. This is only Walking Horse second year with the program. Obviously, quick tempo offense with a new quarterback this week. Probably not something that you've really been able to establish with him. You want him hitting the fundamentals before he's able to run a 1 minute drill, no huddle.
Seems to be what the case was there, and now they'll opt to burn the timeout. And I mean, do you think about just taking any shots deep? It's something they haven't really seen try yet today, or do you just go with, hey, we're getting the ball in the second half, let's just stick to the ground?
Yeah, with 3 deep for the K-Man, tough situation to be in.
Low snap doesn't help the situation either. Great tackle, laying the wood on the outside for the Cavemen was Aiden Cage.
Yeah, obviously a couple hits there after the whistle, but ref's calling it clean as we have 30 seconds left in the half. Obviously, a sophomore quarterback may not have the arm for the shot that you need. 3 deep may not be worth risking a pick six. That would better to keep yourself out of digging yourself a deeper hole.
Well, as you mentioned as well, now, I mean, we're in 3rd and 14 at this point, so got to agree with you here, Nate. I think we're going to see them stick with the ground, and we'll see in a moment what the Vikings opt to do. With 30 seconds left, ball on the 48. Jensen just going to give it, and a strong run. Might have enough for the first down. It's Christiansen, and he will. So that's a first down, and this is a Vikings team that looks like they just wanted to burn. Oh, they're going to go on the clock. They're trying to stay on the ball, take advantage.
Like might get a spike right here.
Yeah, they're trying to set the chain. So 20 seconds remaining. Jensen got to get his guys on it. Taking a lot of time to get ready for it. And they're going to drop back, looking for something deep, going for it over top, and just throws it out of bounds unintentionally.
Yeah, tough situation there. Obviously great to see Jensen's arm in that situation. We've seen a lot of shorter passes. Obviously, you haven't seen anyone be able to take off the top of the defense so far, but good to see that arm strength to be able to air it out down the field, JT.
11 seconds remaining here, 2nd and 10. But more than anything else, I mean, you still got 3 seconds. So hypothetically, depending on how quickly you go, got time for 2 to 3 plays, depending on how deep the shots are. Vikings offense still has a chance here. We're going to see Jensen get it. It's going to be a 3-man rush. Pressure is going to break through, and just having to throw it away is Jensen.
Yeah, great move there by moving it out. Stopping the clock here. We have 6.5 seconds left in the half for this Vikings offense to come up with something.
Siosifa Lavu in on the pressure. The intimidating nose tackle has been essential in stopping the Vikings run game that really hasn't gotten going until these previous 2 drives. And right there, able to come through and create that interior pressure that so many situations is the ultimate equalizer.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to see what could be the last play of the drive here, JT. What this team decides to do.
6.5 seconds for Jensen. They're going to go onto the ground. A little bit of room in front of him. Stayed up a little bit too long as the clock is going to expire. So it'll get brought down at the 25. But either way, it's the end of the drive. Jaden Wright was showing a little bit of life. And, late on in the half, we saw the Vikings start to move the ball, but never able to cash in. Cavemen with the 14-0 lead. Nate, your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, great work there by a tough defense for the Cavemen, able to keep the Vikings off the scoreboard. We're going to see Vikings try to come up with something to penetrate the defense. Obviously seeing a little bit of success early. I assume we still see the Cavemen offense come out and just chip away down the field again.
15-minute halftime due up right here on KSL Sports Rewind. But your score at Pleasant Grove, Cavemen 14, Vikings nothing.
For over 25 years, Salt Lake Running Company has helped people of all ages and levels find the gear they need to start their fitness journey. From a free custom shoe fit analysis to a premium assortment of footwear and workout essentials, SLRC is a top 10 run shop in America. Locally owned, locally operated at 5 locations along the Wasatch Front, SLRC is there to help you gear up and get out. Visit a store near you or shop online at slrc.com.
Back here at Pleasant Grove High School on KSL Sports Rewind. It's been a fun one so far. American Fork 14-0 over the Pleasant Grove Vikings. And Nate, I think just one of the things you got to start with when you talk about this game is just the performance by Champion Edwards in that first half. Not only getting it done with his arm, but especially his legs.
Yeah, Edwards has definitely been able to – it's tough to call him a game manager, but that's what American Forks asked him to do tonight. Be able to hand it off, make the simple reads, be able to get the ball down the field. They've got 14 points on the board, had a couple missed opportunities with field goals to run up the scoreboard a little bit, but having a great performance.
You're right. And how about, the job with his legs as well. Like you said, a lot of the throws have been pretty simple, but how many plays have broken down and Edwards makes something out of nothing, or those 4th and 3 and Edwards charges ahead and gets it?
Yeah, we've seen the Vikings try to sniff out the run, and he's been able to pull some keepers and grab first downs that way too.
As we boom it away, the Vikings are ready to get it, looking to get back into this one, trailing 14-0. Try to get to the edge, to the outside, nearly got it until he was finally stepped out. But a phenomenal return on the outside to get things underway for Pleasant Grove.
Yeah, you love to see the ball in athletes' hands. Will Francom able to get some better field position for the Vikings, see what adjustments the coach has made in halftime, and see what the Cavemen defense does to respond.
That's what will be interesting to see the response here from the Vikings. What do you think the Vikings are going to try to do to efficiently move the ball here? Something they struggled on their first 2 drives, and then the latter 2 finally got working a little bit, but penalties killed their drives.
Yeah, we see a lot of success running through between the tackles.
We're seeing another success running to the outside, try to go for the stiff arm. A nice tackle made there, but another strong run for Jaden Wright.
Yeah, obviously the outside run game isn't super efficient, but does do a great job wearing out a defense. Those defenders all hustling to try to get it out to the sideline and be able to stop it out there. Something that will definitely wear them out over time.
Wesley Buick on the tackle. Nate, I'm not going to lie to you. I thought that was a lot longer than it was. That was a lot of running for a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, definitely when you see something bounce outside, takes a little bit longer to go a shorter distance.
So Mason Jensen, if you're just joining us in, the backup quarterback, a sophomore. Quick pitch and throw to the outside. Gets about 3 on the play as he connects to Cannon Hale.
Manageable 3rd down here. I'd love to see that ball a little bit more in the breadbasket, as they say, JT. Able to have him allow the wide receiver to run after the catch. Good job holding on to it. See what they've cooked up for 3rd down.
Third down has been a struggle for a lot of the day for the Vikings. It's been the inverse for the Cavemen. They've been incredible on it, only forced to punt one time on the day. We'll see if the Vikings can pick it up. 3rd and 4 from the 38 with 10:34 remaining. Pressure's going to come from the outside. Jensen gets rid of it quickly, but there for the tackle are the Cavemen, dropping him short of the play, and a little bit of extracurricular shoving after as well, but a phenomenal job on the stop there by Tyson Eggett.
Yeah, not able to get there. 4th and short. Interesting opportunity here. We've seen success from the Vikings running between the tackles. Looks like we might be seeing the punt team.
And it makes sense, right? A lot of time left to play in this game still, Nate. And one of those things, you're at midfield. This Caveman offense already been rolling. But you do worry about putting the ball back in Champion Edwards' hands as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's why I say I guess I'm a gambling man, JT. I would have tried a QB sneak in this situation, but end over end punt, fair catch called for. You can see the Caveman offense.
So we'll start it at the 21 for American Fork, and we mentioned what a job that Champion Edwards has done to start this game so far, but I mean, it's been all the running backs have basically gotten into it. Daxon Watts exited at the very last play of the first quarter, so we're not sure if we're going to see him going forward in this one, but still some tough running backs when you talk about Lucas Segura as well as Jacob Ederle, and we know these are Cavemen receivers as well, capable of creating that separation on the outside.
Yeah, definitely a tough matchup for the Vikings defense, as there's so many ways that this Caveman offense can break off chunks of yards down the field.
See, there's really, it looks about 7 in the box, but even more when you think about how close a couple of the guys are. Caveman going to test it anyways. Ederle charges ahead, gets 5 on the carry.
Yeah, quick 5 yards to start off the second half for the Caveman offense.
This is a Caveman team as well. They like to run the ball more than they throw it. It's why we see a lot of bodies around the line of scrimmage. And then when they're forced to, Champion and his receivers can't make those plays on the outside, but you know they like to run it.
Yeah, it's hard to turn the ball over when you run it. Put yourself in great situations. Kind of a Pete Carroll concept. That's why he loves establishing the run. It's because it puts yourself in less risky situations.
Faked it to Ederle, instead go to this quick slant. That one hauled in, draped all over on the coverage as well. But at the moment, Peyton Reese has a catch. You hear the whistles and you see the flags. We'll see what it turns out to be.
Yeah,
what do you see on that one?
Yeah, it looks like we might have had some contact while that pass was being hauled in. It makes it even better catch there, JT. You have a defender draped all over you, you're able to make it happen.
Defensive holding, and what did you see on that one?
Yeah, at least from this angle, it looked pretty clean. We're not up there
it's
on
hard
the
on
field.
the back end, right?
Yeah.
We have the tough angle on it, I will say that as well. You are correct.
Obviously, we hear about all the hand play that goes on between the DBs and the wide receivers. Looks like they don't accept the penalty as we have a first down here for the Cavemen.
Yeah, they'll just take the yardage. A nice catch hauled in by Reese. Not his best catch of the game, though, as he already has that touchdown catch earlier. Did a great job adjusting to it. Give it back on the ground to Ederle. And Ederle dragged down for a gain of 3.
Yeah, we see quite a few flags like that declined at this level, JT. Utah high school football, it's at the line of scrimmage foul most of the time, not a spotted foul. And so, yeah, you got a lot more yards there by declining the defensive holding penalty.
Ball on the 44, 2nd and 8 with 8 minutes remaining in this one. American Fork Cavemen have been pretty much getting whatever they want on offense. Missed field goal and a punt, pretty much the lone blemishes on their record. They had 2 long touchdown drives. We're going to go back on the ground to Ederle, and he is swallowed up. Good job by the Vikings. In on the tackle that time, doing a good job is Thatcher Kuhn.
Yeah, number 13, able to make the stop at the line of scrimmage, bringing up a long 3rd down. Not a situation you love to be in.
Not a situation you'd love to be in at all. It's 3rd and long if you are the Cavemen. Last time we saw this team in 3rd and long, they were able to generate a little bit of something, but we'll see if they can do it here again. The last 3rd and long we saw in the first half, they were forced to punt on. See if they can move the chains on this one. Edwards alone in the backfield. Going to see a late blitz come in from the corner. Hauled in by Roberts. Roberts makes a move for the first down. Stop and start by Roberts. Gets him the first.
Yeah, quarterback not wanting to be beat deep, plays soft on the wide receiver, able to open up enough zone for that Champ Edwards pass and a first down for the Cavemen.
So now under 7 minutes, and look, this is a Cavemen team. They've been taking their time since the very first drive, and now even more inclined to do so, right? Got the 2-touchdown lead. You're efficiently moving the ball, and why not take your time, right?
Yeah, win's a win, JT. Doesn't matter how many points he's put up.
See the bunch set, a lot of bodies there as charging ahead. Looked like it was Watts. Going to try to see. I think that was Watts back into the game. A little bit of shoving after. A lot of frustration, but great to see Watts back on the field.
Yeah, refs letting him play tonight. Been to a couple West games. That does not fly up in Salt Lake City.
Yes. Crazy to think we only have 2 more games left in the high school football season after this one as well, Nate. Season has just flown by.
Yeah, but fall has not come. We barely had to put on a jacket by halftime, JT. Weather's been great out here.
You're tougher than me, Nate. I got gloves on right now. Champion on 2nd and 6 with 6:03 remaining. Gives it to Watts. Once again, Watts stopped. Flying in to make the play was Bronco Winterton.
Big stop there by Bronco. Another third down for the Cavemen. See what Champ Edwards, ball in his hands. They always have a chance to pick up a first down.
You got a player like Champ, you absolutely do. Been lights out on 3rd down, whether it's scrambling to put his team in position to convert a 4th down, just scrambling to get a first down, as well as doing a good job getting it out to the outside. The last time they were in the 3rd and long situation, it was hauled in by Trey Roberts. Roberts, you're going to see in that bunch set to the left side of your screen as the back left receiver. This time they pitch to the outside. Watts sees green grass, tries to cut back, and he'll get nothing. Great job by the Vikings to bring him for a stop.
Yeah, big 3rd down stop there for the Vikings. They pitch it out to the running back with a bunch of wide receivers in front of them, not able to pick up enough blocks to get the ball across for the first down.
So decision if you're the Cavemen, and looks like they've already made it. They're going to keep the offense on the field. Have not failed yet today to get a 4th down completion, so they'll try to here. Edwards going to stop the play. Play clock 6 to 18 at the moment, so a lot of time for Coach Beam and his team to get the play call in. Aaron Beam, the leader of this team. Send the blitz up the middle, trying to get it to the outside on the quick throw, and it's incomplete. 4th down stop for the Vikings.
Yeah, big stop down for the Vikings. I love to see the Cavemen put themselves in those pressure situations. Those reps you can't get at practice and pay off big once the playoffs come along.
What's amazing is just because of the style these two teams play out, right? It's run, then pass when you have to. We are already at 4:34 remaining in the 3rd quarter. So time, still a lot of it if you are the Vikings, but you know, it feels like you got to get some type of points on this one, right, Nate?
Yeah, definitely a big
See a lot of lines, hands on the line of scrimmage as they're going to try to bounce it to the outside, making a great tackle on the outside for the American Fork Cavemen. On that one was Caleb Peterson.
Yeah, number 7, Caleb Peterson making plays tonight, able to sniff out the outside run and make a stop there.
Wade Christiansen just unable to squeeze away. You know, Christiansen we've seen get a lot of carries today. He's only a sophomore as well. So when you talk about Christiansen as well as Jensen, some bright spots on this offense for the Vikings.
Yeah, future of the program. Love to see the reps this early and hope to see him continue to build up the talent.
2nd and 10, so no gain on the previous play, as we'll see Mason Jensen going to bring 5. He's got a little bit of time, steps up before he's dropped. Big time sack by American Fork. That time able to take it is Waki Fuilongi.
Yeah, big stop there. Wraps him up, tackle for loss. We push back 3rd and long. Tough situation for the Vikings.
Yeah, Waki Fuilongi doing a great job getting inside and creating that chaos there. Longi, a junior, 246-1. That's a lot on the inside. Yeah. Shows off the power, gets the sack. believe the second of the day now for this Cavemen front.
Yeah, able to shut off a blocker and make a play at the same time. Big move there.
We said you got to have points on this drive. It is now 3rd and 14 for the Vikings. We'll see if they can find a way to move the chains on this one. Cavemen show pressure. They're going to bling it. It breaks through right away. They get it on the screen, but a great job fighting through the blockers to make the stop is Eden Cage.
Yeah, excellent job there by the secondary. Able to read the screen, rally up, make the play. 4th and long. We're going to see the punt unit here for the Vikings.
And I know you're a defensive guy. This Cavemen's defense, is every point in the game, it feels like they've just been outstanding.
Yeah, and it's not, I guess you would say flashy. It's just guys doing their jobs.
Exactly.
Punching in 9 to 5. Love to see that in the defense.
I mean, it's like the one on the previous sack, right? You're just breaking through, getting the interior pressure on the bull rush. No fancy spin move or anything, but you get the job done. That's what matters. This punt, going to be a modest one. I think Moose Bingham would be a fan of it. Unfortunately, Moose would not be a fan of the bounce that one took, and Vikings wait a little bit to touch it as well. So going to be a start for the Cavemen on this drive coming up for this one. We'll start at the 48, or excuse me, 44.
Yeah, tough situation. Obviously, half the sideline saying get away from it, half the other sideline saying jump on it. A little confusing when you're on the field, JT.
Both these teams came in this one 5-2. It's an American Fork team on the season. They've scored 170 points. They've allowed 119. But since region play started, they're 1-1 in region play. You got the win versus Westlake that they were able to get American Fork. Or actually, excuse me, the win versus Lone Peak and then the loss to Corner Canyon. The win versus Westlake actually belongs to Pleasant Grove. They got last week, and before that they suffered a tough loss to Lone Peak. Give it to the outside to Segura, trying to go ahead, but the Vikings all over it, and they'll swing him back for a loss.
Trevin Gates been the star of the defense tonight for the Vikings, able to hold his edge. He's the last man for the outside. Picks up a tackle for loss. Great move there.
Gates leads this team in tackles, and you can easily see why based on plays like that. 1:48 remaining in this one. That'll put it at 2nd and 3. Only a loss of 3 on that one. Actually made out pretty decently considering how far he got swung back, but you're going to let him keep the yardage based on the forward momentum, of course.
Yeah, and watching what Cavemen like to do, 3 yards is going to put him in a tougher situation.
Edwards with some time, clean pocket, looks to the outside, lost the ball in there, but then coming down with it, winning the 50-50 ball and nearly staying on his feet until he was dragged down. It was a great catch by Wade Stringham.
Yeah, Makai Peterson fighting for his life on that deep ball, able to pull him down by the shoestrings. Big play there by the Cavemen. Love to see them be able to break out some explosive plays tonight.
The longest pass of the day completed by Champion Edwards goes to Wade Stringham for, call it a 40-plus yarder on that one. And Stringham as well, it looked like at first he was trying to track the ball to the right, then he tried to track it to the left, then it looked like he lost it, bobbled it, and still came down with the catch.
Yeah, and still had the breakaway speed to be able to pull away for the cornerback while doing that to get a handful of yards after the catch.
Not surprising to see these Cavemen as well be willing to take their time on it. See 2 backs once again flanking. Gonna see the whistles blown a dead. 45 seconds left. Let's see, timeout American Forks. They just must have not liked what they had drawn up there. We're going to step away and see what they come out with when we come back on KSL Sports Rewind. Timeout with 45 seconds left in the 3rd quarter here. The Cavemen just completed an explosive pass, setting them up deep inside the red zone once again. Wanted to burn a timeout, though. Didn't want to have a delay game or run something they weren't set up for success, but they were set up for success on the outside there by Jet Nelson.
Yeah, 2 backs here.
All day. Pockets breaking down, spinning out of it, able to get back to the line. A fantastic effort by Edwards.
Yeah, number 55, Lucas Jackson, able to hold contain there. Keep the gain to 1 yard. 2nd and goal from the 9-yard line. Tricky situation to be in.
Also want to go back to that play. I believe the big pass play, I believe I called Wade Stringham. There's 2 number 14s on this roster, so it was actually Jet Nelson was the one who hauled in. So a fantastic reception by Jet Nelson. Set up this red zone opportunity. You see the Cavemen going to the side. You see the Vikings come over. This is going to be the end of the 3rd quarter, and we're going to see if the Cavemen are able to punch it in when we come back, stretch this one to over 20, or can the Vikings hold strong and force them to at least kick a field goal to try to stay in this game? Find out when we return on KSL Sports Rewind. back here, set for fourth quarter action here at Pleasant Grove High School. It's been a fun one so far tonight. It's 1-2 the Cavemen have really dominated, but an opportunity to extend the lead here. We're going to see if they're able to do it in just a moment, and it's going to be a tough task for the Vikings to get a stop, but they'll have a chance to do it. JT Wistersill and Nate Carter taking you the rest of the way on the call with 12 minutes to go in our fourth quarter. About to get underway, Nate.
Yeah, second and goal from the 9-yard line. We've seen the Vikings shut them out before. Let's see if they're able to do it again.
Edwards been so electric tonight, including under center. He has one of his touchdown passes. This time, just going to be a give. And a great job on the stop by the Vikings as they're able to bring down Erdley.
Yeah, a little high-low there in the backfield. Or gain a one on the play. So we look across at the play call, and we have a third down. Tough situation to be in. End zone, you can't open the whole playbook. You have a shorter field.
Missed the field goal you attempted earlier as well, Nate. 11:26 to go here. Looked like they faked the give. Edwards, man in front of him. See if he tries to make a play with his legs. Just going to throw it up. Man, came open. Touchdown, but a flag came in late. We're going to see what that flag is at the moment. Jace Hull has a touchdown, so Hull able to haul it in. We're going to see what that flag is for, though.
Yeah, it looks like we have one on the line towards the line of scrimmage, and then one back as Cove Warner, number 4, had such great contain on Champ Edwards, keep him out of the end zone, and decided to hit him after he threw the ball.
Looks like we had a personal foul on the, I believe, personal foul on the chop block, right, Nate? Is that what that was for? Was that, could have been roughing the passer, was it?
Yeah. No, we definitely saw roughing the passer.
That was roughing the passer. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't see Champion get hit that hard. Did you see him?
It's such a gray area in how many steps you get. He was flying down. He threw the ball. I believe there was time to let up. And then the chop block down low. We get to see an exciting third down all over again, JT.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it takes away an incredible throw by Champion Edwards as well. Pressure in his face, delivers it. This hole was open, but still a nice job. 3rd and 7, as you mentioned. We'll play it over. Second time tonight we've had offsetting penalties as well. Edwards looking, searching, going high, overshoots his intended target. It's going to be 4th and 7.
Yeah, Vikings secondary keeping their head on a swivel. Overthrown ball there. Dangerous situation when you have such a tight coverage behind. We see the field goal unit strutting out.
You know, if you're the Cavemen here as well, I think offensive coordinator Micah Hunsacker, as well as Aaron Beam, I think head coach, of course, of the Cavemen, I think you're a little disappointed in the execution. You know, your last touchdown came at the first play of the second quarter. Since then, haven't been able to punch it in. Add some more points with the field goals here. But, yeah, the Cavemen just haven't been able to capitalize as much as this game really wore on. They got off to a great start, but since then, well, just 3 points.
Yeah, that's not ideal. Obviously, you have a couple more games this season, be able to work out some kinks here before you see the playoffs. Great learning opportunity. You're really not trying to bust open the playbook tonight. You're still pretty comfortable with where your defense is at and being able to hold the Vikings out of the end zone.
We'll see what happens. And we're actually just going to keep it here, as I don't think we have enough time to get to Brady, if I'm being honest, Nate, as we decided to talk that one over. So 11:09 left. It's a Vikings team that, like we mentioned, just hasn't been able to really get it going tonight. But if you're the Vikings, what are you trying to see at this point, especially if you're Jensen and just haven't had the night you were hoping in your first start?
Yeah, Jensen's still getting live reps against a tough defense in the state. Definitely be able to talk to Coach, tell him what he's seeing out there, see if there's anything that he has that he might work out there. And obviously a situation for Coach Walking Horse to be able to see what he has in the future of this program.
This is a Pleasant Grove team we talked about. They're 5-2. They're going to go to 5-3 more than likely after this one tonight. Still a lot of action to be played, I'll say, so never know what can happen. Unfortunately, falling out of bounds after catching that one is Will Frankham. And one thing as well, just for this Vikings team, I mean, look at them on the season, 217 points scored, only 47 allowed. We talked about last year, just one win. So is this year going to be different? The answer to that was yes. You look at this team, 19-14, a loss to Farmington. Farmington, for my money, is one of the 3 best teams in 6A at the moment. So you talk about that. Then you get the win versus Green Canyon, win versus Ormond dominant fashion, win versus Wasatch. We get another win against Riverton as well. So you have the game versus Lone Peak, really also a loss. We're going to see a short run go there, but this is a Vikings team that has been really good all season long, and I think still has some chance to make some noise in the postseason as well.
Yeah, obviously, American Fork has beaten tough teams. This is a tough team to face against.
Nearly beat Lone Peak, as you mentioned earlier.
It beat Lone Peak in overtime. Yeah, this is such a big accomplishment.
They did, my bad. Yes, they did beat Lone Peak. Thank you.
Holding them off the board, being able to force them into field goal situations. Little victories here for the Vikings tonight as we see the program continue to grow.
Talked about the win versus West as well. It's a tough Cavemen team to take on, especially when you're down your starting quarterback, Instaferry. Get a pass complete to the outside, and nifty moves made just short of a first down on that one by Will Frankham.
Yeah, nice pickup there. Obviously, we were here for senior night, JT. I saw 9 at every 10 mark. This is a pretty young program still.
Yes.
Senior night, not that many kids got recognized. We still have a lot of returning production next year, and a team that's still trying to improve every day and compete in the state.
Head coach of this Vikings, Taylor Walkenhorst, talked to us about that before game. Look, I had a bunch of sophomores out there last year, he said. This year, a lot different with the time they've been able to put into the weight room. Fantastic tackle made by the Cavemen defensive front there.
Yeah, that's a tough situation to be in, but they're able to move the sticks. And we have a first down here for the Vikings.
Yeah, will still be a first down. Hunter Clegg in on the stop there. Clegg got a touchdown pass on the night. I don't believe he's had a sack on the night, Nate, but, I mean, really good job by Clegg, obviously, still. Such an impact player on both sides of the ball. What do you admire most about Hunter Clegg's game?
Yeah, he's physical. Obviously, the recruiter saw the talent. That's why he's headed to Stanford next year. He's trying to make moves. It's tough to influence the game as an edge rusher when we're seeing a lot of quick passes from the Vikings offense.
They have tried to get it out quick. We'll see if Clegg can make a play this time. Pressure in his face, but just can't get to Jensen. Jensen rolling out, going to try to flip it up. Has his man on the outside. The best play of the passing game today is that one's hauled in. A nice catch. We've been seeing Sean Cottle's game a lot tonight on defense. That time able to make some plays on offense. But once again, Jensen, the escape artist there.
Yeah, you love to see him be able to buy time and be able to look downfield while doing it. It's one thing just to run away from a defender, but it's obviously talent to be able to get the ball downfield.
9:08 remaining. Cottle got out of bounds there. It looked to be a messy handoff, just a messy play, and Clegg and the rest of the Cavemen all over it. Somehow Jensen was able to get back to the line, but that one was going nowhere.
Yeah, obviously credit to the Cavemen defense being able to step up, swallowed it up at the line of scrimmage for a 2nd and 10.
Doesn't it feel like today as well, Nate, that we've seen step forward in terms of something right for the Vikings offense and then a step backwards as well, whether it's a penalty, a negative play, just, one of those things they just kind of deal with, I think, when you're dealing with a change at quarterback as well.
Yeah, a young program, you can always shoot yourself in the foot. You want to see those mistakes get cleaned up. As we see that ball batted down as it's moving forward, incomplete pass.
Brought the corner blitz that time, doing a good job flying in by Evan Agor. Agor got you. He's right up there towards the top of this American Fork team in terms of led tackles as well. Makes his impact there. Felt with the pass deflection.
Seeing a change of personnel here for the Vikings as they are facing a 3rd and long. Taking off Will Frankham, who's one of the most exciting athletes on the Viking offense.
Yeah, Frankham, the reason they got a first down on the previous one. 2 negative plays made it 3rd and 10, or I guess 2 plays of no gain, to be correct. This time we see Jensen drop back. They set up the screen. How about Clegg flying in, the long reach, swats it like a shot.
6'4", 235, hot knife through butter, flying into the backfield.
And it's going to send out the Vikings punting unit once again. And, it's one of those situations. Look, 8:23 left. Is that one you do maybe think about going for, just in terms of if you want to win the game, you probably have to have it there, or it is going to be 4th and 10 then? You haven't really been able to move the chains as well, but it's a tough thing, right? Because with 17 minutes left and with 17 nothing deficit, excuse me, as I get tongue-tied, it's 8:23 left, not a lot of time left.
Yeah, Vikings punt this away. Good bounce for the Vikings.
And just be down right at the 30, but do you think it is the right call to punt there?
I don't hate it. 3rd or 4th and 10 that's a lot of yards. We haven't seen them successfully challenge the Cavemen secondary. A lot of outside passes, not a lot down the field. Save yourself risk a turnover, punting away. Give the Cavemen a long field. You've been able to hold them just to a field goal on the last drive. Hopefully you're able to do it again.
Once again, Nick Stafari out here. His status TBD for their upcoming game next week. Doesn't get any easier for Pleasant Grove, unfortunately. Skyridge and Corner Canyon, 2 of the top 3 teams in the state, you could realistically argue. Segura charges ahead, but then you can hear the pads popping on that one as he's dragged down.
Yeah, it's fun to see late in the game, still hearing the pads pop. Everyone's still fired up to be playing football tonight.
For the Cavemen, they're going to close out the season versus Westlake. The team Pleasant Grove beat 7-0 last week, and then they'll close the season out against rival Skyridge as well. How do you see the rest of the Cavemen season panning out? You know, they're moved to 6-2 after this one tonight, and a very winnable game against Westlake, especially at home, but then go on the road to Skyridge, who, especially by then, McKay Hillstead could be back from the ankle.
Yeah, that's a situation where we could be seeing the playbook looking a little vanilla tonight, and maybe next week as well, as they might be saving something for that rivalry with Skyridge.
Watts cuts it back to the inside, but then tackled, brought down for a short gain, and it's been a defensive battle this second half, honestly. I mean, you look at it, yes, the Cavemen, their first drive marched it all the way down the field, but had to settle for the field goal, so weren't able to punch in the points, and now we see on 3rd and long again. And, you know, from the Vikings' perspective, look, 2 tough games, obviously, for next week, but if you are Coach Walkenhorst, how do you keep this team locked in, as well as how many times have we seen Westlake go winless in region play, then even last year go on the road versus Roy and get a win?
Yeah, it's been great to see this program be able to blossom. You're going to have a lot of film to be able to coach guys on next week as we almost see an interception.
Yeah, talk about the play on that one there, Nate. You're doing a great job. Was Gabe McCoy flying over.
Obviously, as a defender, getting your hand on the ball is the most exciting thing. You'd love to see him haul it in, but an incomplete pass on 3rd down is a win.
6:47 left with a turnover, and the short field advantage at the 40 turns into a very different game if he is able to take that one. Just a tough one. Edwards just a little too far in front of Roberts on that one. And, hey, speaking of Trey Roberts, he's going to punt it away. He's waiting for a little bit long, then eventually kicks it. Nearly had it blocked. We'll see what the bounce this one takes. Pretty much just bounces and dies. Don't see that one a lot. I think Moose would be a fan of that one, don't you think?
Yeah, we have a Viking offense starting on the 35-yard line. Hopefully see him take some shots down the field. Expect to see the Caveman defense play a little bit deeper in the secondary as they want to keep Vikings with a 0 on the scoreboard.
Couple scores for you right now. First, we'll start with the Region 4 ones. Corner Canyon's up on Westlake 21-0 at the moment, going around as well. You guys know what the score is here from American Fork. In terms, Lowton Peak up to a 16-3 lead over Skyridge. That's a little bit of a surprise.
It's big news. Yeah, that's exciting.
Not sure if, as we see this one go to the outside for a nice gain. Not sure if Trent Call's playing in that Skyridge game as well, or if it is McKay Hillstead. Got to believe it is still Call, though.
Yeah, big play there for Jensen. Able to slip out between the trouble that we had there from the Cavemen defense, be able to find a wide receiver in the flat. And we have 2nd and 5. Manageable situation here.
Indeed it is. Like you mentioned, 6:08 to play. A little bit of momentum for this offense. All the starters, of course, still on the field, as it is just a 17-0 game. It's still within reach, but got to get your offense going if you want to trim into that. See the give to Christiansen. Charges ahead. Gain of about 4 on the play.
Yeah, 3rd and 1. This is really heating up for the Vikings as we see Walkenhorst calling out It looks to be a little bit more meat with a tight end, be able to punch this ball up through the middle.
Saw him go with almost a wishbone-looking offense earlier. We could see that again as well, Nate.
Yeah, we've seen success with these power runs.
It looks like that's what we will see here. So with 5:27 left, see Jensen under center. 3rd and 1. Give it. Christiansen trying to charge ahead and falls forward for the first down. He'll get just enough to have it.
Yeah, it's fun to see the diversity on this Viking offense. We see them, they prefer to be in that four wide set, but able to strap it up, put some fullbacks out there on the field and punch it up for short yardage. Great versatility.
Just under 5 minutes remaining now. Ball on the 46 for the Vikings offense, showing a little bit of light. And they've had a couple drives with multiple first downs. They just always end up stalling. This one going to be a quick throw to the outside for Jensen. A fantastic tackle made after that one was hauled in by Cannonhale.
Yeah, great to see. As I hope to see, we see Jensen cooling down. He's played almost a whole game so far. He's able to find wide receivers, hitting it on targets. We're not seeing the ball be overthrown. I believe that was for pregame jitters. Great to see him develop out here tonight.
As you mentioned, really has gotten better as the game wore on. I feel like, those first 2 drives, both 3 and out. Since then, for the most part, it's been at least a couple of first downs in it. See what PG can do with it here. Blitz shows, it's picked up well, sends it to the outside, and that one thrown a little too high. It was actually nearly intercepted, as Aiden Cage would have had a chance to take that one back for 6 if it bounced a little higher.
Yeah, talking to Coach Walkenhorst before the game, he mentioned he wanted to play to Jensen's strengths and obviously keep the defense off his weaknesses. I think we've seen a great display of talent here from the sophomore tonight.
Definitely got a bright future going forward for this team. Still such a young Pleasant Grove team as well, and just an incredible turnaround in week 2 once again. Already quadrupled your win total from a year ago at just the 1. So nice opportunity and a building step going forward, and still an opportunity to get a playoff win postseason, as well as 2 regular season upsets. Go to the outside, get it along the sideline, pushed out of bounds. After hauling that ball in was Matai Brown.
Yeah, it's been fun to see these tight end sets. Matai Brown able to haul that one in. 3rd and 5 4th and 5. Tough situation. It looks like the Vikings are willing to take a shot at it.
Love to see it. This is a team that's punted on a lot of 3rd downs today. With 4:06 left to go in this one, what do you got to lose, right, Nate?
Yeah, this is just a building opportunity here. The crowd fired up as the cheerleaders are running.
Yeah, they're throwing T-shirts around.
T-shirts into the stands.
I think they're more fired about the T-shirts in the 4th down, but we'll say it's for the 4th down. Jensen, Clegg broke through. It's intercepted. The first interception of the night by either team belongs to the Cavemen, and that looks to be the final nail in the coffin. Yeah. Big-time pick.
Number 5, Cale Burrows, able to drop back in the hole, be able to pick that one off for the Cavemen. I think reasons we haven't seen the Vikings aired out down the field as much as it's tough to throw on this K-man defense.
Indeed it is. Cale Burrows, the one with the interception, will pick it up from what looks to be the 48 in a moment, but first stepping away, injury timeout on KSL Sports Rewind.
For over 25 years, Salt Lake Running Company has helped people of all ages and levels find the gear they need to start their fitness journey. From a free custom shoe fit analysis to a premium assortment of footwear and workout essentials, SLRC is a top 10 run shop in America. Locally owned, locally operated at 5 locations along the Wasatch Front, SLRC is there to help you gear up and get out. Visit a store near you or shop online at slrc.com.
There were 2 injured players on the field, both able to get up and walk off as well. So 3:59 to go, and Cale Burrows had that interception, and what a big-time play it was. Burrows is actually the one who was shaken up as well. Glad he's able to get off a little bit as well. But what did you see on that play by Burrows? Because it was a fantastic one.
Yeah, he just dropped back into his zone, read the quarterback perfectly, had the hands to haul it in, and he puts his offense back on the field. Great play.
And only maybe one, maybe two first downs needed to really end this game, and we'll see if that could be the ending night for Jensen. Charging ahead, tough yardage gotten there by Jacob Eaterly.
Yeah, Jensen breaking multiple arm tackles as he runs for 8 yards there. Great play.
The tackle for the Vikings, 8-yard pickup.
So 2nd and 2 off the 8-yard pickup. Champion Edwards and the Cavemen looking like they're ready for a win. And are you concerned at all by the Cavemen's lack of offensive production in the second half, or do you think it was just a term of red zone execution? It's the first drive of the second drive of the game that they got, or the first drive of this third quarter. Excuse me. They marched all the way down, just couldn't cash it in.
Yeah, it doesn't. I guess we'll have to see. I think right now we've seen a very vanilla offense from the Cavemen as they have some pretty tough.
You feel like they were playing not to lose more so than to win?
Yeah, this might be a little bit more of a business trip mentality for the Cavemen tonight as they taking care of business.
Clocked in at 7. Going to clock out a little bit past 9, but that was the goal. 2:55 to go after that first down run by Watts to the outside. See that bunch receiver set once again. Be surprised to see the Cavemen air it out here, but see if Coach Beam wants to get one more touchdown into the end zone.
Yeah, we've seen them run directly into that wide receiver bunch, hoping that they pick up blocks.
Edwards thought about pulling it, instead gives it to the inside, but Vikings all over it and drag him back for the minimal gain. Erdley on the carry again.
Yeah, I love to see the amount of read option at the high school level, JT. It's a fun wrinkle that just opens up opportunities to make defenders play out of position and break off big chunks of yards.
So 2:07 to go. Cavemen saying we got all the time in the world. Now 158, probably going to have to run 2 more plays. Don't think they'll take a knee quite yet, although honestly they could if they really wanted to. Edwards gives it. Early ahead. And dropped. Vikings once again can surge on the tackle.
Yeah, it looks like we still have 3 timeouts here for the Vikings. Tough to start taking knees this early. Still need to keep making the effort to run the ball up between the tackles, trying to move these sticks.
Yeah, I'd be surprised to see him used here, but you never know. Cavemen using all the time they can. Time not of the essence for them. Cavemen student section get going. I do believe we will win chance as they look to be in a good position to this one. Might face 4th down if they can't get it here. See if Edwards decides to keep it. He's picked up a couple with his legs already today. Instead gives it to Eaterly and dropped by the Vikings. Get a stop.
Yeah, swarmed up. Vikings were able to react perfectly to the play as we see a loss of 1 and a 4th down for the Cavemen.
So Cavemen going to have to run one more play as it's about an 8-second difference. Play clock, or actually they just turned the play clock, but that play clock's still on. One of the play clocks got turned on, the other's still off. At the moment, I think it's just good. They're just going to let it expire. So we'll see how it ends up wrapping up here. Instead, and now we have whistles being blown. So I think the play clock was supposed to go. So I think that's going to cause a little bit of confusion as well. Figure this one out. Everyone's heading for the exits, though, in this one as it is over. But what's the biggest thing you're going to take away from this Caveman performance?
Yeah, this is definitely a tough team. Any given Friday, they have the capabilities to pull out the W, JT. It's a fun team to watch as they had a variety of plays that they were able to come out with and a stout defense that didn't want to make any mistakes.
Looks like we're trying to sort things out now. Both coaches being discussed about the potential issues that may have happened. And then talk about the Vikings as well. Obviously, lose Staveri. That's a tough break. Jensen comes in, struggles a little bit, but overall still moved the ball as well. Saw the running game get going in a couple spots. How do you feel about them going forward?
Yeah, heads are still hanging high on the sideline. This wasn't a game that you would chalk in as a win preseason, but a game that you just hope you fought and didn't get blown out. 17 points on the board, little victories as they continue to grow this program.
Those little victories go a long way, as you mentioned. That's for sure. Looks like we're resetting the clock at the moment, or now they're going to run it. So 21 seconds left. I mean, we got coaches, we got trainers on the field. So, like I said, I thought there was a play clock issue on there. Either way, it's going to end. One thing's for sure, Cavemen going to get a win. And don't call me Shirley. But the American Fork Cavemen are going to get a 17-0 win over the Pleasant Grove Vikings. Going forward for the Cavemen, have Westlake on deck at home next week. They'll return there. Very winnable game for them. Then go on the road to Skyridge. We mentioned Skyridge struggling a little bit with Lone Peak. And then looking at it from the perspective of the Vikings, they got to take on Skyridge coming up, as well as Corner Canyon. So interesting standpoint for both these teams, and we'll see how it plays out going forward. But Nate, your final thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts. Last year we saw this game 40-0. Now we see it this year 17-0. Progress for this Pleasant Grove program, and still another strong representation from the Cavemen. Fun night to be here with you, JT.
It was a great one, Nate. That's going to do it for us on KSL Sports Rewind here at Pleasant Grove High School. Your final, the American Fork Cavemen 17, the Pleasant Grove Vikings 0. For Nate Carter, for our great cameraman Tino, for all of the fans that we were amongst in the crowd with tonight as we watched this one from the bleachers, we thank you for welcoming us into Pleasant Grove, into your homes as well, and have a great night. Thank you for watching KSL Sports Rewind, and have a great weekend.